Hey guys, welcome back to Return today with a new video. Today some more Marvel Rivals, a new guide, this time on Iron Man. Now, sadly, right off the bat, I gotta say that Iron Man is one of the weakest, just sort of like lowest tier characters in the game right now. He needs a buff for sure, and I can definitely foresee him getting changed before launch to hopefully like fly faster and just have more health. That's pretty much the main things he needs. Maybe some sort of armor up ability where he like is either invulnerable for a second, or like a movement ability like a dodge or something. You can still have good games as Iron Man as long as you aren't against a Hela or a Punisher, or like sometimes even a Rocket Raccoon can take you out instantly. But as long as you're not against a Hela, the most overpowered character, then Iron Man doesn't feel like the worst character ever. But otherwise, you'd pretty much need to swap if there's a Hela. In general, though, he's fun to play. He's one of the two flying-only characters. Him and Storm are always flying. And he has actually really good damage output. He's really like a glass cannon in the current build because his health is so low, but his damage is really high. And if, like I said, they don't have any anti-air heroes like Hela or Punisher, then you can rain down a lot of damage. And if you're good at sort of hiding behind stuff and like shoulder peek shooting your repulsor blasts, you're gonna actually get a lot of damage. You can pick healers pretty easily. It all just depends on the enemy team comp that you're going up against, and sort of your team comp as well. But like I said, if you're not getting countered, he is a good pick for DPS. He's just also very squishy, so you have to be really careful not to overextend or to get picked. And if you start getting countered, you gotta switch off right away. That's sort of my main tip. But getting into the real Iron Man stuff, let's start with the synergies. So Iron Man has one team up ability synergy right now. For him, it's called Gamma Overdrive, which is if there is a Hulk on your team, Hulk can charge Iron Man with gamma radiation, so when Iron Man uses his E, it will initiate a gamma upgrade. I believe it's just anytime you use your E, this makes it better. And your E already is normally you just like have it on cooldown, and when you hit it, it powers up your attacks for a little while. Your left and your right click do more damage for a little while, and if you have a Hulk on your team, it does even more. So even in this video you're watching, I didn't have a Hulk, and my damage was still, in my opinion, quite high. The damage output, especially when you don't have to be precise, you can AoE damage, I think is still pretty high. But to understand the rest of his abilities, let's move on to his abilities list. Starting off simple, his Repulsor Blast is on left click. This is your normal attack you're going to be doing all the time. It's just alternating shots from his repulsors, and they do a pretty large AoE explosion on the ground that will damage enemies all around it. Your right click is Unibeam, where you fire Unibeam out of your chest. Now, this kind of slows you down, makes you a little more easy to hit, but it does a lot of damage, like extremely high DPS. You can melt a health bar down, so it's very good for a flank attack or an like above. You know, you are always flying, so if you can fly kind of around behind or jump out around a corner, sort of a thing, and catch someone off guard with your right click, they are going to get melted pretty fast, even on a tank, but especially on like a healer or a squishier character. And as a DPS like this, especially as Iron Man, you want to be focusing to take out their healers. So like the Rocket Raccoons, the Pennies, the Mantises, the Luna Snows, you're going to take them out pretty quickly with a mix of your left and right click, just because it does a lot of damage, and most of those characters have a hard time fighting back against you, or by the time they notice that you're up in the air or behind them in the air, they may already have been taken out, because of course they have to worry about stuff down on the ground level as well. Now on top of that, those already do good damage like I said, but you have your E, Armor Overdrive, that enhances the damage of your Repulsor Blast and Unibeam. And maybe even like we could see a buff, I could see a buff where the E makes your damage and like your armor, because it's called Armor Overdrive. I could see them changing it to be increased damage and health, or like gives you a stack of like 100 armor or something like that to just make him stronger, because he's just really squishy right now. But anyways, as it is right now, Armor Overdrive, you hit E, and then for I think it's like 10 seconds or so, it's a decent long time, your attacks do more damage, your left and your right click. So the ones we've already went over, the Repulsor Blast and the Unibeam, are going to be even stronger, and they're already quite strong. So it does feel really cool to initiate the overdrive and then just lay into a group of enemies and see how much damage you're really putting out. You also have a left shift movement ability called Hyper Velocity, which it says is for swift forward flight, but it's like a fast jog basically, but in flying form. I would also see this being buffed, hopefully, at launch. As I said in the other guides, this is the closed alpha, so anything that's changed up to the closed beta and up to launch, I'm going to pin that in a pinned comment. So if you're watching this and stuff isn't really accurate to what you're seeing in game, if you're watching this 6 months or a year from now, check the pinned comment and I'll have stuff down there like, hey, the left shift is now 2 times faster or something like that. Because hopefully they make hypervelocity faster, because it's obviously cooler to just go faster as Iron Man. It's kind of underwhelming how slow he goes, especially compared to like the films. And when we already have Spider-Man in the game who can swing across the entire map with a press of a button, I don't think having Iron Man be a little bit faster for his like 6 seconds of flight as that big of an issue. I think they definitely need to upgrade the speed on that. Even like 50 to 100% faster would be nice. But right now that's hypervelocity. You can use it to kind of get out of trouble, but you're still not that fast, like I said. But it is like better than nothing, right? So you can dive away from an attack, fly over to a health pack, and heal yourself back up. You also have F, and the F is kind of underwhelming, kind of like borderline useless in my opinion. Whenever you hit your E, so the armor overdrive, or your shift, the flying hypervelocity, you can also hit your F right after, and this is going to shoot the shoulder micro missiles out. Obviously it looks really cool, but they just don't do much damage. I again think this is a buff candidate. Pretty much his whole kit could be buffed and then he would be a good character, because all this stuff is cool. It just, besides his left and right click, it doesn't do enough, and then you just don't have enough health either, right? That's the main issue, is the health. But the F also doesn't do enough damage in my opinion. But if you're using your shift to fly, I try doing it in this video, it doesn't really do much like I said, but you can sort of shift fly over enemies and hit your F and it'll like carpet bomb down on them from your shoulder missiles, which is pretty cool, like in theory, but it just doesn't do that much damage. And then same with when you hit your E and you start doing your powered up repulsor attacks, you can hit your F to mix in some shoulder missiles for a little bit of extra damage, which, you know, it's cool. It just doesn't do that much, but it's also kind of hard to remember to do it when you're in the heat of battle as well, but it is there. Now lastly, his ultimate is the Invincible Pulse Cannon. Now keep in mind, this is called the Invincible Pulse Cannon. Pretty much every time you use this, you're going to be killed by a Hela or a Rocket Raccoon or a Punisher or anyone with like, even like a Mantis, anyone who can click and like have ears is probably gonna kill you. So right now you're gonna need to use this as a surprise. You need to be behind them, or they are like stuck in some other kind of ultimate like Groot's, or they're already on the back foot or in a huge team fight or something. You need to catch them by surprise with this. If you're just trying to whip this out like mid-combat, you're gonna die before it goes off, because it has quite a wind up to shoot. And again, it's called the Invincible Pulse Cannon. Hopefully this is buffed to make you invulnerable while you're casting it, or at least give you more health or something, because I mean we have characters like Hela who have this long ultimate where they can kill like 4 people and they're completely invincible while they do it. If they do get killed in their ult, it just takes them out of their ult instead of actually killing the character. Whereas Iron Man, you hit your ult, if they shoot you, you just die and your ult is wasted. So pretty frustrating a lot of the time, but you can get some cool stuff with it. In this video, like, mine gets blocked by Doctor Strange shield. That's going to happen by like any Magneto, any Doctor Strange. You have to be careful. Don't shoot it at a Magneto at all, unless you just saw him use his shift. If he just used his shield wall and he put it away, Magneto's is on a cooldown, not like Strange's, so then you're safe to shoot this ult. Just a little tip for you. Otherwise, try and surprise people with it. It is really strong. Like, you can get a triple kill, a quad kill, especially on small characters, but you need to be scaring them with it, surprising them with it. That's kind of the whole kit. You need to be sort of sneaking around, but it's kind of hard to do that when you move pretty slow, have like no health, and you're permanently flying as well. So Iron Man, definitely a lower tier character, definitely a buff candidate. I can see him getting buffed, especially like these super popular characters like Iron Man, like Spider-Man, like Black Panther, that are Hulk, that are all pretty like weak. Like, those are the weaker characters, and yet they're also like the most popular characters. So, you know, it's cool to see other characters sort of getting the light, but we need to see these super iconic ones be stronger. Like Iron Man, I should be maining Iron Man. He should be all I ever do. I'm obsessed with Iron Man, but instead I can't play him because I just feel like a detriment to the team. But all that said, this is a guide on how you should play him and how his abilities work, his synergies, everything like that. Definitely hoping to see more, like when Captain America gets added to the game, I'm sure we'll have a synergy with them where, you know, you can unibeam his shield and spray it everywhere or something like that. Cool stuff like that down the line, I'm sure. They're always cooking. But that is about it. Let me know if this guide was helpful for you guys. That's what you're looking for. Leave a like. That's the best way. Or a comment. I read all of those. Subscribe if you want to see more Marvel Rivals and other gaming content as well. I'm going to be massively putting out content for Marvel Rivals. So if you enjoy the game, this is definitely a great place to be. I'm going to put out a guide for every single character, and then coming into the closed beta, into launch and everything like that, all kinds of new content. But right now I'm just trying to get sort of a base guide out for everyone so that when closed beta and launch come along, there's footage here for you guys to check out. And if this was helpful for you, like I said, leave a like. That's about it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Let me know what you think of Iron Man and the other characters in the Marvel Rivals playtest. What you guys think? Let me know what other kind of buff ideas you could have for him. I think I came up with a few on the fly that are actually pretty good. But, you know, maybe he just needs new abilities. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much. Love you.